Okay, so the first thing I like to do when after we've determined the swath and measured out our test strip is I like to put fertilizer in the spreader, and I like to start with a known quantity. And so if you don't have a known quantity, you're gonna struggle to do this. So I like to start with 20 pounds. So I'm gonna zero out my scale, see if we can not spill this bucket like I'm doing. Okay, so we got 20 pounds. You might ask how I arrived at 20 pounds. You could do it with more. 20 pounds is a nice round number. You'll see it ends up being a decent amount of material in the hopper. What I don't want to have happen is when you're doing these passes that you begin to see kind of these pockets where there's fertilizer almost not coming out of the chute. I don't know how else to describe it. Basically, as a fertilizer hopper begins to empty, you're going to see these little voids that begin to happen. And if that's beginning to happen, you're not getting steady flow of fertilizer out of the spreader. And so 20 pounds is a great spot because it's about half full. It represents not a full spreader, not an empty spreader. It's about right in the middle. So we'll start with our 20 pounds. And so as I mentioned before, because we're going wheel to wheel, Tyler's going to make two passes. He's going to make two passes, a pass down and a pass back. What he's going to want to do is push the spreader at the speed we want to walk at, which is about 3.5 miles an hour. When his wheels touch the starting line, he's going to open the chute, push it down and close it when his wheels cross. He's going to turn around and come back. And so in that time, when this is calibrated correctly, he's going to put out about 5.26 pounds of product per 1,000 square feet. And so that's what we're after. And we're going to try to make some adjustments. This is where if you have been doing this for a while, you might be, either the bag might provide information about a setting, or you can just lean on your experience. Just from what I saw in setting M while he was out here doing it, I'm going to dial it back a little bit, and I'm going to put it on setting K. Again, this is kind of arbitrary, but this is just speculation right now of where I think we maybe will need to be. And so if he puts out too little product, we'll open the chute a little bit more. If he puts out too much product, we'll close the chute a little bit. So again, we're on setting K, and Tyler's going to walk 3.5 miles an hour. This is a key piece. If you get somebody who cannot walk the correct speed, or they're walking different speeds every time, you're going to get a different answer every time. So Tyler, there's no pressure here, but so the Anderson spreaders, that's a SR2000. That's about an $800 spreader. They're unique in that they have what's known as a helical cone setting. You'll see that at the bottom. That helical cone setting basically gives you the ability to adjust where the material is going to be dropped on the paddle, and that's going to affect the distribution. And so you can make adjustments to the helical cone depending on the size SGN that you have. So Tyler's back. I watch people dump this all the time. I actually find it easier to do it by myself, but I just grab it by the side and by this handle, tip it up. If you spill this, then we're starting over. So give it a shake, don't lose any. So we started with 20 pounds. We want to put out 5.26 pounds. And so you need the difference. 20 minus 5.26 is what the difference should be. Tyler, you have that math? What's that going to be? 14.75. 14.74. So right now, we are at 17.60. So we have 17.6 pounds in this bucket. So I'm going to quiz you. What does Tyler need to do? Does he need to open the chute more, or does he need to close the chute? So again, we wanted, what was the answer, Tyler? 14? So 14.75 we're going to say. We wanted 14.75, we got 17.60. We need to open the spreader more to put out more material. So maybe I should have never touched it. I was at setting K. I'm going to open it back up. Let's go to setting M. And again, this is one of those things from my experiences that I have seen where you move the dial quite a bit, it doesn't make any difference, and all of a sudden, boy, there's just a few letters where you can make pounds and pounds of difference. So I'm going to fill this back up to 20 pounds for consistency. There's our 20 pounds. So we're going to try this again. Now, one thing, Tyler may want to offset his next pass a little bit, or you're going to end up with the greenest stripe, you know, see it from 1,000 feet away. Again, another step too that he might be able to do is you could have somebody timing just to ensure that we're having consistency. Tyler's been doing this for 15 years. He's a seasoned pro, so we're not going to need to time him. But somebody who's a novice, you would want to time them to make sure that they're achieving the desired speed. So go ahead. Yeah, I cannot recall right now the particulars of the helical cone setting. I'll look for this and get it back to you, but I'm pretty sure the smaller the SGN, the larger the helical cone setting. And so if you had like a SGN of 85, you'd have a helical cone setting of 8 or 9. Anyway, all right. What are we after? 14.75? Okay, we're at 15 on the dot, so that's pretty close. We're going to do it one more time. I'm curious to not adjust anything, and we'll see if we can replicate 15 again. I mean, that is very, very close. We're within a quarter pound of what we're looking for. But I want to see if we can replicate this, because it wouldn't surprise me if we don't touch anything. And the next time we may end up with 14.75, so I don't want to start moving the stick around until I understand if we can replicate that. So one more time, I'm going to put 20 pounds in. We're not going to adjust it. We're on setting M for Mary.